All right, here it is. This is the device that will allow you to turn your phone into a HT transceiver. So I got it for about $40 on Amazon, which I thought was a great deal for a video project. Now, obviously, when you open this stuff up, it's all wrapped in its plastic protective material, but I'm going to set that aside because I've already opened this up. So it did come with an antenna, which was individually wrapped. And it comes with the USB-C. This is it. It's the USB-C cable, the antenna, and the actual transceiver actually. Now, before you go any further, we're going to put the antenna on because it's always a good idea to put antennas on transmitters before you come close to powering them up. There's another issue I have with this. There's no back plate to this, and until I put the antenna on, this rattled quite a bit. It's quite rattly. So when you put the antenna on, it stiffens it up a bit. It feels like there should be a backing for this, but there isn't. And clearly they didn't intend that to be the case because they did screen print the back. Now the problem I have with that is, if you power this up and you're touching these GPIO pins, you're probably going to fry it. And so I would recommend, before going any further, before even plugging it in, put some electrical tape over all of these exposed pins so that we don't have any catastrophes. Now, you need a phone. I've already set my phone up for this, but it's basically what you would expect. You download the appropriate app. The app in the Android store is KV4P HT. And it'll ask you to connect the device, and it'll take you through the setup process. So I've opened the app and it says KV4P HT radio not found. It's asking me if it's plugged in. So it comes with this USB-C. It's actually USB-C to micro, and then they give you a C adapter. It probably would be best to get a solid USB-C. This is dodgy because of all the connections. It loses its connection frequently. And they also make L-type connectors, which work a lot better with phones, especially when you're going to marry these two devices together. You can kind of come out of one device in a J sort of up into the other device. And I know I have one, I just can't find it. So I'm going to use the cord that it came with. So I'll start by plugging in USB-C into the phone. And we're going to go right into the transceiver and see if it recognizes it. Now, what it's done here is it's brought up repeater book because that's where I left off. But let's just go back a little bit. This is where you're going to start. You're going to start with the introductory screen. It says Simplex 144.48 is, I don't know if that's a default or where I left it. Notice that it still says not plugged in. Again, these cords are a little dodgy, so I'm going to try again. See if I can get this to make a connection. And when I do, it must know because it goes into repeater book, but that's a whole other subject. Let's go into scan. Can I get into scan? It's not letting me do anything. Go into APRS. This is for APRS text. Go back to voice. It does not believe that the device is plugged in. Okay. Now, I also know that it's not recognizing the device because if you look up below the frequency, there's actually a power meter, a receiver meter, that S meter, that's not moving. And there should be background noise because I have it turned all the way up with 0 squelch. So not working. It's just simply not working at the moment. So I'm going to unplug it again, and we'll try the same thing. I will replug it in. I'm going to flip the USB-C for luck. And it takes me again to repeater book. And when I come back, it says radio not found. Is it plugged in? Now, I had this problem from the start. It was a little bit, it didn't feel entirely polished when I set everything up. It was kind of buggy like this. You kind of had to figure your way around. And that's my first issue. My first problem with all of this is the fact that this is not a polished device. This very much feels like someone's personal project, and it is. And you have to know that. You need to know that going into it. This is a personal project somebody put a lot of love and care into, which is great. But adjust your expectations. This is not really a commercial product. I mean, $40. Come on. Now, I should be able to go into scan, but it's just not letting me do it. It just does not believe that I have plugged the radio in. Okay, so I had difficulty getting it hooked up to my phone. It was working with it earlier, but now when I go to hook it up to my phone, it says the device isn't found. It seems to be a software issue because when I plug my phone in, it goes and opens up Repeater Book, which says USB is established, but I still get this message. And this is the interface you get when it finally connects. Now, I will say that when you hook it up to your phone and plug it in, it's going to have you download the firmware, click yes. After that, hopefully, you will start to see the S meter and you'll hear background static, and that would tell me that it's in receive mode. Now, the idea here is you can turn your phone into an HT. What are the advantages to that? Well, let's take a look at the interface. There's not a whole lot going on here. There's the frequency, which I can enter manually. You can do that, but only simplex, okay? There's not really a whole lot going on with features. In order to scan, it says stop scan, scan and stop scan. I can hit that. It isn't scanning because I haven't entered anything into memories. And the question then is, well, what goes into memories? How do you do that? Well, if we go to over here, we'll go to find nearby repeaters. What's going to happen is it's going to open up Repeater Book. Now, on this device, I was unable to get it to open Repeater Book. On my other phone, it no problem opens up Repeater Book. But the problem then becomes you have to have a Repeater Book subscription to import repeaters in order for this to work. Here's the thing. What is the advantage to having your phone be an HT? If this had, let's say, a spectrum graph, it used free repeater import software like Odemaster does. You don't need to pay for Odemaster to import repeaters. It would be great if this linked with Odemaster, but it doesn't do the stuff that you can do on any HT from a Bofeng to a Yaesu. It doesn't do it. What your options are is to either enter a simplex frequency by hand or import a repeater, and that's it. The feature that it has is APRS. Okay, great, APRS texting. Okay, I guess that's something. But you would think that if you have an HT phone, you're getting these advantages. You're getting this UI interface, which would be superior to any radio. And all that would be okay if it did something. But it doesn't do something. It just, this is it. This is what it does. Your push to talk is to push the microphone button. I can't justify this device as it is. If KV4P went to all the trouble of developing this, which kudos to you, that is not an easy thing to accomplish. And I'm glad to see people are doing things like this, but this is your UX. I have no incentive to connect this to my phone. It's not a good radio. There's no advantage here. There's not a UX advantage here. If you subscribe to Repeater Book, it would open Repeater Book hopefully on your phone. Right now it's not responding at all. I'm getting no response from the menu. It's dodgy, as I said. It's dodgy, not ready for prime time. Now, I'm sure that the developer can create some new firmware. They can do updates. There are things they can do to improve it. But I'm not feeling this. It's kind of like it wants to be my dream device. This is what it wants to do. I could even 3D print a case, and that way we can do away with all the wires, and we can 3D print that all in one. And I'd say, well, I have this Android HT. That'd be cool, right? Not really. Look at this. This is all it does. This is less functionality than, a bubble pack GMRS radio. And that's my review of the KV4P HT. Is it a buy or not, I'm going to say it's a no buy. It's going back in the box. It's going back to Amazon. There's a lot of development that needs to happen before this makes any sense at all. It just doesn't need to exist at this point. If it were Bluetooth and you could connect via Bluetooth without worrying about this, it starts to become something. At least you don't have to worry about the dodginess of the USB connection, and then you think, well, now we're getting close to an Odemaster type functionality. If you improve the UI, maybe we're getting somewhere. Without the Bluetooth, there's no point. There's no point to this. KV4P, I apologize. It's not there yet.